check this out. So WrestleMania is come and gone, and once again, for some reason, it don't even feel like a WrestleMania. Now, I'm not saying this specifically because of my opinions, but I'm just going by what other people are saying. The magic and the energy behind professional wrestling is gone. And what could we do to bring it back? I'm going to be real. It was great seeing the fans back. It brought back that old feeling. But here's the problem. The stories, the matchups, it didn't reciprocate that same energy. People say what they want about the old timers like The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Goldberg. They brought the energy. Yeah, I understand. You see people complain for years about old guys hogging the spotlight. This is the first time in a long time we had nothing but new people, and it didn't still change anything. Why is that? Why is that? Now, there's potential there. There's a lot of potential there. I felt they dropped the ball with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley should have been the next guy instead of Drew. Drew McIntyre, even though Drew McIntyre is a great worker. Bobby Lashley should have been that dude to take Brock Lesnar out. They should have built Bobby Lashley up to be the next destroyer. Instead of doing all these clown storylines, he should have been booked like he was in Impact. Destroying people left and right. And when he meets up with Brock, that's the big fight. What wrestling needs is a big fight feel. And none of these guys today can really bring it. Maybe except Roman Reigns. Maybe except Bobby Lashley. Those probably the only two that could probably bring a great big fight feel to wrestling. The big fight feel is what's needed in wrestling anyway. Think about it. Where do those magical moments come from? With Hogan and Warrior, that was a big fight feel atmosphere. Shawn and Bret had a big fight feel. Austin and Rock always had it. Brock and anybody has it. Taker and Brock had it. Taker and Shawn Michaels had it. I mean, who else had it? Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit had it. Those matches had that energy that make you like, damn, I'm witnessing a special event here. When I'm watching a lot of this stuff today, it just feels like a regular Raw or SmackDown. And it's looking bad. It's looking real bad. No matter how many marks want to sit there and deny it, it's bad. Because if the WWE can't get it together, they're the face of American wrestling. And as long as they remain terrible, wrestling will be looked down as a carny show. You know it's bad when you have outsiders like Soulja Boy and Bow Wow shitting on today's product and no repercussions. It's whack. I remember back then, if somebody used to say wrestling was fake, man, you get mad. Because you know it was hot at the time with The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. You wanted to smack them. Well, you had characters like Ric Flair and all of them. Now you like, damn, I can't say nothing. This stuff is whack. And plus, look at the nonsense that's going on with wrestling to where people can't take it serious. You mean to tell me that Bray Wyatt or The Fiend could survive getting burnt to a chicken crisp, but yet he can't survive one RKO? If he would have took him down with an RKO on a chair, an RKO on fire, that would have made sense. This man, after being gone for months, lost to one RKO. Really? So then, you had the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business could have been the group that could really be the main draw of Raw. Seeing brothers stand up, not cooning, kicking ass and taking names. What do? They break them up at their peak. They break them up, and now they're going to merge them with Retribution, one of the corniest groups out there. I'm like, really? Come on, man. Like, come on, bro. So then it gets even sillier. You got this other guy, Bad Bunny. I guess he's trying to bring the Flow Rider audience. He's beating up Miz and Morrison like he owns them. Then you got Shane McMahon beating down Strowman. It's so effing silly today, bro. The first thing first with wrestling, what needs to change is that you gotta incorporate realism, man. This stuff don't feel real at all. The big fight feel is missing. You got to incorporate realism so people can invest in these stories. No more getting in and out of character. Like, I'm going to give y'all a prime example. I looked at the match, which was good, which was Edge, Roman Reigns, and Daniel Bryan, because they both gave great promos. It was a decent build-up. Bryan killed the match. How did Bryan kill the match? He goes up there after the match and talks about, man, I'm very grateful that me, Roman, and Edge, we were able to come back into the ring together and make a great match. I'm like, what's all this humble shit? What's all this humble shit? You just lost. You just lost the title. And on top of that, to be even more humiliating, he put Edge on top of you. And you being humble. You lost. Why you being all humble for? That's what's going on. You can't take the story seriously. That's why UFC is still a draw. That's why anytime boxing, when they have a set match, it's going to draw. People want to be invested in rivalries. The WWE, or the wrestling business for that matter, they don't invest in rivalries no more. They jump in and out. They jump in and out of character. If I see, let's say for example, Big Van Vader, rest in peace, breaking Cactus Jack nose, ripping his ear out. That's the vision I want to see the next time I see Big Van Vader on TV. I don't want to see Vader on Instagram hugging his babies. I don't want to see Vader making poetry posts. I want to see Vader knocking niggas' heads off every time I see him. And that's what made money. That's what made money. That's like you going out there, you seeing Superman going to the dry cleaners. You're not going to think he's super no more when he's doing human stuff. You want to see Superman showing up, saving the day, and kicking ass. That's what wrestling needs to go back to. Another thing, too, is they got to stop exposing the content, man. It's way too much wrestling. It's not good. 3-hour Raws. NXT 2 hours. AEW on Wednesday. SmackDown on Friday. A pay-per-view every 2 weeks. WrestleMania hasn't even digested. We're already talking about Backlash. I mean, come on. Then, while I'm on pay-per-views, let's talk about how the WrestleManias just drag. They need to go back to that 3-hour format. The 3-hour format that will force the talent to really fight to be on the card. Because that's why you see a lot of guys, they like, oh, it's a 2-day show. I'm going to be on the card anyway. Back then, you couldn't do that. You had to fight for them pay-per-views. You had to fight to get over. Today, these dudes don't do it. And it used to be, if you didn't make it, you would be in catering. But see, that kayfabe is what's hurting, man. It's like it needs to go back to invested rivalries. That's why the last time it caught interest with Brock Lesnar, everything Brock Lesnar does, it feels real. That's why he's such a draw. Goldberg, he brings the big fight feel. Brock Lesnar brings the big fight feel. And you could tell even with guys, when they do promos back in the day, like Stone Cold and The Rock. This is my favorite interaction with those two had when they had with JR in the middle. You could tell Stone Cold felt every bit of that promo when he said, I need that title. I need to beat you, Rock. These guys don't have that same aggression about that belt. But that belt used to mean you the cream of the crop. You was the man. These guys today are so nonchalant. You can see that. That's just the common mentality that a lot of people just have today. They don't want to be the best. They just happy to be there. And that mentality has just been running rampant in this new generation. This is why a lot of people complain about the new generation. But here's what I would do. If the WWE really want to captivate interest, what they should do, let's have Bobby Lashley beat Drew McIntyre down at either an airport or a parking lot and let it look real to where TMZ will cover it. And people would therefore will be like, oh, is this real? Is this fake? Like, let him throw Drew's head through a car or something. Break in his house or beat him up outside of his house and throw his head through a windshield. That will get Bobby Lashley so much heat. And on top of that, it will incorporate the realism, because people are not going to know if it's real or fake or not, because it's TMZ covering. And you know when TMZ covering, it's going to look real. There's levels of doing this. And one more thing, that we need dominant big men back, damn it. I'm tired of the WWE making these big men looking like gigantic toddlers. I want to see a dominant big man around here. Every big man that they bring in the WWE, they just end up looking like toddlers. One thing you could give WCW credit for, they knew how to keep their giants looking raw. Pause. Like, where's the Bam Bam Bigelows over there? Where's the earthquakes? Where's the natural disasters? Where are the legit tough men? The tough big guys? Mark Henry had it, but they pulled the trigger on him way too late in his career. If he would have came in with that Hall of Pain-ish in the beginning, man. Can you imagine how many classics he would have had by now? I mean, Undertaker and Brock Lesnar were like the last legit big men we really had. They protected their characters because they understood that by protecting their characters, it would mean making more money and make them more of a draw. They didn't go for the clown-ish. And another thing too, and one more thing before I go. They need to embrace more urban fans. AEW is still a bit too indie white markish. Let's be real. What made ECW more appealable was the simple fact that they embraced the hip hop community. They embraced the grunge community. They embraced the community that a lot of feds overlook. If they bring in the Griselda and let them do work with the WWE or AEW, I guarantee you the interest overnight will peak. I'm not talking Flow Rider. I'm not talking Wale. We got to get to the nitty gritty. You got to embrace real, legitimate, hardcore artists. And watch it start. So that's my thoughts about that, man. I mean, I pretty much have a little more to go, but I'm going to say that for a second video. So subscribe, hit the like button. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.